So this is a game dev diary sort of thing that I'm going to be doing. At least I think I'll start doing this. I don't know. I finally found a game that I wanted to latch onto and start working on that didn't seem like a huge pain in the ass. So and then this is really just a tech demo of some of the shit I'm going to be doing with it. Sorry for mumbling. It's late and I've been tired all day. Just tired doing nothing on my day off. So this is going to be game called Project Hyena, which is going to be the class name of the ship that they have. It's a scavenger ship. The entire idea is you're going to be going across abandoned ships, space stations, research facilities, underwater laboratories, that kind of thing, and searching abandoned places and just grabbing stuff for it and selling it to people, making money and upgrading your shit, and then, progressing the story. So the idea is it's going to be like randomly stuff. So this is just kind of a demo of how the game is going to function in terms of movement. And here already, this big door here kind of represents the airlock that they're walking into on this ship. Or I guess we can call it a ship. It can be whatever it wants. We can see the main guy walking around here with his little visor on, and his buddies kind of follow him around a little bit. And then up top, you'll notice the three numbers. We've got 1, 4, and 0. 0 is the room count, what current room they're in, which airlock doesn't count as one of those rooms. Then you have 4, which is the maximum number of rooms before the boss fight, and then the number 1, which is the event number room. So here's what I like to call room 0. It's the first of the generic rooms that you go through. And then up in, once you get to the center, about a third of the way there, usually a battle will happen. Some aliens will come out or something. You'll have to fight them. And you'll use your guys that follow you around to help you with that kind of stuff. But as you progress, okay, so now we can see the little thing ticked up to 1, which is where the event room is. And so in this room, any number of things will probably happen. Usually good stuff, maybe probably a bunch of bad stuff as well, though. And this is usually where you find NPC characters, the guys who follow you around. And you can try and talk them into joining your little scavenger group and kind of having some variety, and each one will have different skills and stuff. So now this is room 2, and you'll notice the max rooms are 4. Once you hit the max, you get the boss room. And just a tough enemy is going to be there. Different variations depending on what type of enemy you're fighting. You'll be up against viruses, Klingon type kind of things, Zerg like swarm creatures, space flora, space fauna, and then the aliens, which are in-game stuff. So this will be the boss fight. You walk in and you fight the boss, and then pew pew, and then you did it. Yay, we done did it. We made it through the thing. And so then, you go back outside and you scan it again, and then it'll make a new room. And then that didn't reset, but that's okay. And essentially it's kind of the same. The numbers for the ship is kind of low right now. I can set it to as many as I want. I just kind of want to keep it low so I can see all this stuff, get the generic rooms like this in. Get an event room. Excuse me. I should probably get some sleep soon. But, so last time room 1 was the event room, and now room 2 is the event room. But we still have 4 maximum rooms, which I think have the number up to 5 or something. I didn't want to spend the entire time just walking through the same room. Which, keep in mind, all these rooms will have different doodads and stuff that'll appear and disappear depending on the randomness of it all. So then we're in the event room, then you go back in here, a little clipping issues there, here and there. And then you'll notice these doorways that they walk through. This is going to kind of be it's going to be polished up 1,000 times better than this. This is just the test room. But it's basically to prevent, it's going to have, like automatic sliding doors, like Star Trek style, to make it look like they're actually entering the room. I couldn't figure out a good way to have your NPCs that follow you, and look, this guy got snagged somehow. But I couldn't figure out a good way for your NPCs to follow you and enter the room. They just kind of teleport back to the start of the room like that. And then you just they walk in and join you. I think he's stuck right there. Pew pew. And then let's see if they'll give us a different max for him. Okay, so we got a lower. Damn it. We got a lower number on the max for him, and I don't even think you could see this arrow. I think it's invisible. I can't remember, but we got a smaller. This is a smaller ship, as it would be, and depending on how late you are in the game, it'll find different size ships that'll vary in how many rooms you can do. You know, the more rooms, the more chances you have of dying a bunch, and so it just kind of increases that. And I think the way I'm gonna have it is probably the number of rooms. The boss fight difficulty will depend on how many rooms there are. If there's a bunch of rooms that you had to go through, then the boss fight at the end is going to be increased by a certain percentage. I don't know how many, but it'll probably that'll help scale, because as you progress through the game, the buildings are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and more difficult and that kind of thing. And so, but yeah, that's the basic gist of what I'm going to get done with this. Naturally, there's a long road ahead of me, but I don't know. Everything I look at seems very, very doable, and it's just a matter of making the different locations, which I suppose for each one you would need some kind of airlock, the generic room, the event room, and the boss room. So that's 4 rooms per. And here I've listed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different types of locations that you can go down into, and they'll, depending on what they are, they'll look different. Offer a little bit of variety with that. So that's quite a few rooms that I'm gonna have. The main city, which will have your hideout, which you can manage your away team. You can go to the store, the black market, and like sell off all your stuff. You can go to the cloning facility and bring back people, because I figured it's the future world. Instead of going to like the church to resurrect somebody, you just go to the cloning labs and just clone you a new scientist, so he can go in and help you science stuff. And that's another thing. Each character, there's I think there's going to be 8 or 9 NPCs that can join you, and each one offers a different skill, like a different focus. I think all of them are going to have the same skills, but each one's going to have a very different focus. Like the soldier is going to be more apt at using weapons, naturally. The engineer is probably going to be able to use electronics, that kind of stuff. Scientists, maybe they can do research or something like that, who knows. We have doctors who will heal. There's going to be like a kid character, kind of like in Aliens, how there was Newt, the little kid. They'll probably be able to, I don't know, go up into vents and like grab rare items and that kind of stuff. Something kid-like, I don't know. The android, who will probably have very average stats, but he's an android, so he can like breathe in space and doesn't have to, you don't have to worry about him a whole lot. He's a very versatile character. There's going to be like a half Klingon character as well, which that'll probably be fun. Very strong, but one of those. And that's another thing too, is I kind of want them to interact with one another. Depending on who you take along with you, we'll probably have different conversations going on. And then also the mechanic who can repair stuff. And I just wanted to run through this one more time just for shits and giggles. But yeah, so as of right now, the guy smoking the cigar here, I want to say is the soldier, and Afro Man over here, I think is going to be the engineer. He's just got a fix your computers vibe to me. And then this guy, the main dude with his helmet on, he's got a very Philip J. Fry look to him. I gave him red hair. I'm like, oh, that's Philip J. Fry. It seems appropriate. Another thing, some of the did I mention the enemies? Yeah. You'll deal with viruses. The virus is going to be like a man-made virus that'll essentially just make zombies, and you'll go into rooms you'll go into like ships and that kind of thing, which is infested. So you got to keep your helmet on, or else you'll get infected as well, and you'll just have to fight undead near the end. The Klingon race, they're just a war-based race. Big brooding dudes who will pummel you into the ground if you're not careful. There's the swarm race, the Zerg-like race is. I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that one because I'm trying to figure out how to kind of make multiple enemies. I made Pompadour Pete, and there was just the one character, one enemy, just fighting it out, going back and forth. And I had a template made up in which the Goblin King could summon minions, and it could interchange depending on which one was summoned and how many are summoned out there, which slots are available for summoning, that kind of thing. So I'm going to kind of run off of that and see what I can do with that and make multiple enemies. I don't know if I'm going to have to make like a bunch of the same characters, like 5 of the same characters, so that they can all show up on screen. It makes it look like there's multiple Zerglings or something like that. There's a few other things though. The vine, I wrote down here vines. I think that's just going to be like space plants, or like just kind of some sort of alien fauna that infests a space station or something like that, and just kind of takes over the whole thing and becomes a real big problem. Same with space beasts, which I also wrote, which is the space fauna, and it's just going to be alien creatures, not necessarily the alien race, which is a race that is going to be like a main story thing. You're going to wind up accidentally waking them up, having to take them out in the end. But it's not them. It's really just alien beasts that don't fit in the swarm thing or the vines thing or anything else. They're just random ass feral monsters that happen to take over an abandoned whatever. So it all depends, and it'll probably all depend on location. Maybe I'm sure I can figure out narratives for most things, but I know one of the locations I want to be like underwater research stations, and just kind of have this big production of the ship coming down just right at the top of the ocean, then dropping down a submersible, and then going into the research station and exploring it from there. I feel as though that'll be like a mid to late game thing, though. You might have to save up and actually get the submarine, and then you could start going to those places. That'll probably be a big thing is progression. You start off with some small ships, and then you'll be able to dock with like bigger ships. Maybe you just have like a bad docking thing. I don't know, and eventually broken down space stations, you'll be able to gain more like air for your suit and that kind of stuff, so you can breathe without oxygen in case the hull's integrity is compromised, that kind of thing. Just little stuff, little rants that I gotta take note of and weed through the stuff that I like and get rid of the stuff that I don't. So yeah, I think that's enough ranting for one time, and yeah, that's it. Until next time.